It
Yeah, sure.
looks, yeah, it looks nice. Once again, a very good morning. We have already waited for 4 minutes. Now let's start with the disclaimer. It is hereby declared that the production of the said content is meant for non-commercial, scholastic, and research purposes only. We admit that some of the content or the images provided in this channel's video may be obtained through the routine Google image searches, and few of them may be under copyright protection. Such usage is completely inadvertent. It is quite possible that we overlook to give full scholarly credit to the copyright owners. We believe that the non-commercial, only for educational use of the material may allow the video in question fall under fair use of such content. However, we honor the copyright holders' rights and the video shall be deleted from our channel in case of any such claim received by us or reported to us. So now, after the discussion of entrepreneur culture and corporate culture, we witnessed too many things. And as far as the yesterday's session is concerned, I have shared some link with you guys for your reading preferences. I hope you have gone through with that. And now it's time to discuss on the same. I expect someone to speak on that. Yes, anything that you have observed, anything that you have marked, feel free to share. You can type in chat box, you can unmute yourself and speak. Choice is yours. What I want that you should share something that you gain from that reading. Okay, then we'll move with the next one. That is leadership characteristics. Here we have discussed climate for entrepreneurship or entrepreneurial environment. In that, the 10 points were there. In same time, the leadership characteristics was also written over there. So we'll move with that. These are the entrepreneurial leadership characteristics. We have seen many leaders. We have seen many characteristics of the leaders. Brian has answered that all investments have a tough beginning but have a profitable through running. All begins with knowing the markets to serve their needs and how to solve the problems that could be available. Very nice, Brian. I really appreciate your observations. You have really marked very good science on that. It's really very good. And it is the practical one that yes, every business, in most of the cases, in 98% cases, beginning is bit tough because we need to start, we need to begin, we need to have our own startup. At the time, it might be possible that we are fresher, we don't know the market exactly, we don't know the breadth of market, but later on, once we are there in the market, we will try to gather the data. We will try to find out the depth of the market, breadth of the market, and later on, we can have enough experience. And on the basis of that, we could be successful. So at initial stage, it's always tough, but later on, if you are putting your hard efforts, definitely that tough will be converted into tangible. So all investment, all startups, all ventures are tough at beginning, at initial stage. You have to be there, you have to put your 100%, you have to give your utmost dedication, and you have to convert the tough time into a good time. And by the time you have to gain the knowledge, you have to gain the experience of the market, how the market works, what are the needs of the customers, what are their need, wants, and demands, what are the moves of your competitors, how many competitors are there in the market, what's their product, and what's their USP, and on the basis of which they are successfully running their businesses in the market, and why we are not able to do so. You have to go on through with all these parameters. Yesterday, the link that I have shared is of Chaiwala. Yes, it is. It's also a beautiful thought that they have also recycled cup of tea and responsible. Yeah, definitely. Good observation. Recycle, clean energy, green energy, less wastage, optimum utilization of the resources, eco efficiency. This is what we can say, eco efficiency. The concept is eco efficiency. What does exactly it mean? Eco efficiency means simply means that you have to increase your production, but same time you have to reduce the utilization of your available resources. You have to utilize your resources less, and same time you have to produce high. This is what we can say, eco efficiency. And nowadays many industries are doing same. Let's start with the Coca-Cola, let's start with the PepsiCo and few other companies. They are reducing the usage of their resources, but same time they are, good in uplifting their production units, and they are doing so. Another example for automobile sector, nowadays they are using aluminiums, they are using carbon fibers and so on. So those valuable resources are nowadays safe, and they have converted and they have found out the new resources for the automobile sectors with a lesser price and great quality. Any other observations that you guys have made? Any damn business, it is of chaiwala, it is of panwala, it is of panipuri, water bowl stella, or kirana store, any damn thing. Nothing is very smooth at initial stage. You have to make it smooth through your hard efforts. Efforts are required. Hard efforts are required with great zeal. Then and then only you could be successful. And what are the extra characteristics that you need to be on the top? I'm not saying that be on the top means financial top. It may have many other meanings too. For example, if you talk about the Tata, then Tata Group is on the top, but not as far as the Reliance is, with comparison of finance, with comparison of money, because Tata Group is already donating more than 65% from their income. So here what? Entrepreneur leadership matters. Any other observations that you guys have made? Please share. We'll discuss on that. A very small concept, that is of chai, tea, and regular snacks that people are habituated to have early in the morning or throughout the day. Chai wala, tea stall are earning really very nice, and they do have a great profit margin on their businesses. If you talk about the multinationals like Starbucks and few others, Barista and blah blah blah, they are also earning a lot, but it's a channelized business, organized one. And the video that I have shared with you related to Captain Raghuraman, you guys have definitely gained a lot more thing from that. The basic difference between organized sector and unorganized sector. Majority business come from the unorganized sector itself. Majority employment has been generated by the unorganized sector itself. The very basic example of idli wala he has shared. If you purchase idli from food street, it will cost you 20 to 30. And out of that 20 to 30, most of majority amount will be passed on to the utensil cleaner, to the rickshawala and to other guys, to the workers and all. But if you purchase the same idli from the five-star hotel, it will cost you 4 to 500 rupees or maybe parallel to that.
Good morning,
And majority portion, majority profit will be taken by the owner itself.
आपके पास है वो आपने नंबर
So this is where the differences are. Place of yes, exactly. Where the availability is not there, at that you have to provide that. And mark my words, where the demand is there and same time availability is not there, and if you provide the same at that place, you will become king of that. You will become very, great in that area where the demand is already exist but availability is less. And if you fulfill that demand, those demands, you will be on top very soon. Good observation. Yes, any other observations? Now we are having many students. Please share your observations. Share your views. It was very basic like chai, tea, stall. Even Balaji Wafer started with a very small unit in theater. And right now the company is having market valuation of more than 5,000 crore rupees. Okay, so moving forward, anybody want to share anything related to yesterday's article, or shall I move on? Done, done. Okay, so here we'll talk about the leadership characteristics of entrepreneurs. It started with understanding the environment. Here we are going to talk about the internal environment more as compared to the external environment. Understanding the environment, specifically internal environment, planning, organizing, staffing, directing, controlling, HR, marketing, finance, production, IT, R&D, logistics, supply, and so on. Because entrepreneur is the one who manages the business operations from the outside. But intrapreneurs are the one who manages business from inside. basic operations, basic management, and day-to-day decisions. So, entrepreneur has to understand the environment. It's not about, or we can say, it's not limited to the internal environment itself. Entrepreneur must have knowledge of external environment too, because external environment having vital impact on the business itself, and on the basis of the external environment one has to take decision as far as the operations are concerned, as far as the internal management is concerned. So here the external environment do have vital impact on the internal environment of business itself. So for that purpose, entrepreneurs have to understand the environment, external as well as internal. SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunity and threats, Porter's five force model, Porter's diamond model, product availability, product substitutes, competitors, competitors' price, their position in the market, their market share, bargaining power of the buyer, bargaining power of the suppliers, and so on. And once he or she gone through with the detailed environment analysis, definitely he or she will be, become visionary and flexible. Being visionary and flexible, he knows very well that what we should do in the longer term. We have started our business. We are there in industry since last 3 years, and definitely now we are going to jump. We are going to be on the top, or at least we are going to be in the growth cycle, in the growth mode. So he or she must have a visionary planning, that where we would like to see our business in upcoming times. In same time, one should have to be flexible, because in COVID situation, we guys are witness for the same, that many businesses are, nowadays locked or wind up. So entrepreneurs have to be flexible too. We never know how the market is going to react on certain parameters. So one has to be flexible enough to get adjusted for the ups and downs. Then creating management options. What kind of hierarchy will be there? Who will report to whom? The basic policies, the basic management system, authority, responsibility, centralization of authority, decentralization of authority, who will deal in what, with what extent, responsibility fixing, and many more. Free management style, autocratic leadership, and so on. So creating management options, that yes, our business will run on these parameters only. Then encouraging teamwork, the most important, because your business exists in the market and the credit goes to your employees only. It is not you, it is your employees. Because of that, you are earning good. So you have to encourage your teamwork. In our small family of 5 to 7 people or 10 people, we are not able to make them convince for a single choice, for a single decisions. While in a conglomerate, in a big company, large cap company, thousands of employees are working. Now to get the things done from that thousands of employees, it's the tough task that entrepreneurs may not be able to do, but entrepreneurs can do it very easily. because they do have a blend knowledge of entrepreneurship and management. And that's why entrepreneurs are able to encourage the teamwork, encouraging open discussion, a kind of participative management where your management will ask for your advice, will ask for your suggestions, will ask for your consent, and then after they will take such decisions. So you have to encourage open discussion where every employee, starting with the lower level to the middle level to the top level, can easily, can frankly put on their points, and management will listen. And not only listen, but on the basis of that, certain corrective actions will be taken. So encourage open discussion and building a coalition of supporters. It is not only you, or it is not only we that we are doing all those things. We need to have a proper channel, or we can say we need to have a proper support. If we are able to do so, then definitely it will be a win-win situation for all of us. Like generally this thing happen in the politics. Yes, Emmanuel, it is possible. And to be very frank with you, all the entrepreneurs are intrapreneurs at the initial stage. But when business grows, when they have to identify the other opportunities, when they have to go for the expansion, when they want to go for the diversification, when they want to grab the another opportunities, at that time that entrepreneur have to depict one entrepreneur who can manage the existing business, so that the entrepreneur can focus, can establish the new one, the new business on early basis. In real life, in small business, in micro business, or in a medium companies, majority entrepreneurs plays a role of intrapreneur itself. But when the company grows, company wants to expand, company want to grab the another opportunity, company want to be in another field, company need to go with the company want to increase the product line and product length, company want to diversify it, company want to take over another company would like to go with the joint venture with another one. At that time, entrepreneur have to precisely focus on the new things, so that he has to appoint one intrapreneur who can manage the existing company very well. Got it, Emmanuel? Yeah, thank you. So, supporters, we have to build up a good supporters. And the last point is being persistence. You have to be constant in your business. Persistent work should be there with great zeal, with great aggression, and with good motives. And then only one will respect you. One will identify the worth of your efforts. An entrepreneur will appreciate the efforts that has been put by the managers, or we can say the entrepreneurs, for the betterment of the company. So these are not limited to this only. There could be many, and there are, but we are going to discuss these 7. entrepreneurial leadership characteristics. It started with understanding the environment, internal as well as external, being visionary and flexible, help to identify the vision of the company, mission of the company, helps to identify the strategy of the company in formulation, in implementation, creating management options, hierarchy, encouraging teamwork, encouraging open discussion, we can say participative management, building a coalition of supporters, or you can say the good team, and being persistent. These are the leadership characteristics that one entrepreneur should possess. So, any doubts for this class?
Sir, sorry.
Yeah.
Uh, could you please elaborate visionary?
Which one? Visionary?
Yes, sir. The second one being visionary and flexible.
Yeah, yeah.
Flexible, so I got vision.
Okay, visionary is the one who have long-term vision, who knows where to lead this company, in which particular area we need to fight, with a long-term vision, where we would like to see our company after 5 years, and it is applicable to the current market as well. That one should having a great vision to identify the future trends in the market, how the market is going to work out, how the market is going to affect your business. So, vision, clear cut vision, that yes, long term vision. We would like to see ourselves at this point after certain years or after certain periods. Clear?
Clear, sir. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. So, any other questions, class? Okay, then we'll move to the next slide. So, the next one is establishing entrepreneurship in the organization. establishing entrepreneurship in the organization. An organization desiring to establish an entrepreneurial environment must implement a procedure for its creation. There should be a process. If one wants to hire the entrepreneur, at that time it might be possible that the entrepreneur asks for the profit sharing. So proper procedure should be there. Although this can be done within, frequently it is easier to use someone outside to facilitate the process. The one who are working in your organization since long, you can promote them. You can convert them into entrepreneurs because they know the company very well. But in many of the cases, company would like to hire the entrepreneurs from the outside. In most of the cases, the first step in this process is to secure a commitment to entrepreneurship in the organization by top, upper, and middle management level. All the levels, board of the directors or anybody, top management, upper level management, middle level management, and anyone, they must be priorly committed to the process. That yes, this is the process, and by this way only we can have entrepreneur in our business who is going to manage the entire business later on. Second, ideas and general areas that top management are interested in supporting should be identified. Where exactly the top management are expecting entrepreneurs support, what type of ideas they are expecting from the entrepreneurs, where exactly entrepreneurs have to work hard, they have to specify the area as far as the marketing is concerned, as far as the finance is concerned, and so on. It should be clearly identified. Not only that, along with the amount of risk money that is available to develop further. Now, if the business owner wants to lift up their business at a great height, they have to take certain risk, and for that they must have some sort of backup. That backup, that financial risk, must be shared with the entrepreneurs. So accordingly, entrepreneurs can plan. Then third, a common company needs to use technology to make itself more flexible. That's what we have discussed about the Kingfisher. That Kingfisher nowadays also stood first because of its technology. Kingfisher having highest brewing technology, the machine that brews pulps at a greater extent. So a company needs to use technology to make itself more flexible. It is not the task of entrepreneurs to do all those things. He also needs some support, and that company can provide with the latest technology, with the utilization of latest technology. Then the organization should be a group of interested managers who will train employees as well as share their experiences. It should be a group of managers where the common interest should be shared among with all the employees. It should not be like that. This is my business and I'll be working very hard for this and I'll achieve something. It should be like that. This is our business. We all will work together for the betterment of this business. And sooner or later, we will achieve great heights. So the managers, the entrepreneurs, or you can say the group of interested managers will train the employees and will share their experiences. Because the entrepreneurs is the one who have lots of experiences in his or her life, have seen, have been witness for many ups and downs of the life. And on the basis of that, company can work out. Fifth, the organization needs to develop ways to get closer to its customers. How organization can go more and more close to the customers, because someone has rightly said that to attract new customer is costly as compared to the retain the regular one. So the organization needs to develop ways to get closer to their customers. It's bit tough, but not possible, not impossible. And the sixth one is an organization that wants to become more entrepreneurial must learn to be more productive with fewer resources. This is the point that we have already discussed. With fewer resources, more productivity, less resources, eco efficiency. Even though you do have less resources in your hand, make sure it should not hamper your productivity. Your productivity must be maintained at a great extent. This is the last slide. Then the organization needs to establish a strong support structure for the entrepreneurs. In many cases, the organization easily appoint the entrepreneurs, but same time they failed to create a supportive structure to the entrepreneurs, and because of them they failed. They have to create such a system that will help entrepreneurs, that it will become supportive structure to the entrepreneurs. They have to give certain rights, they have to give certain authorities, they have to go for the decentralization of authority so that entrepreneurs can influence the employees and can mold as per the expectations of the industry itself. Then, eighth one is support must also involve tying the rewards to the performance of the entrepreneurial unit. For example, you have hired one entrepreneur for the production unit itself, that you have to manage the entire production. And now, if the entrepreneur is doing very well in this unit, in their unit of production, company must have to give reward to that unit. That reward must not be limited to the entrepreneurs. The reward should go to the lower level department also. So support must also involve the rewards, performance based rewards to the unit where entrepreneur is handling. And finally, at the last, the organization needs to implement an evaluation system. 360-degree evaluation system should be there. I think you guys have heard the name of 360-degree performance evaluation. This is what matter here. So the organization needs to establish evaluation system that allows a successful entrepreneurial units to expand and unsuccessful ones eliminated. The unit which expand, the unit which is running very successfully, they will be expanded further. And the unit which one is not performing well, it will be eliminated. So if reward is there, then definitely punishment is also there if they fail to do so. So the unit which is working very nicely and handled very nicely by the entrepreneurs will be given more chance, will be given more resources to expand further. And the one who is not performing well will be eliminated. I think you guys have heard the name of the SBU, Strategic Business Unit. Most of the entrepreneurs are working in that way only. Entrepreneurs strategic business unit, where they are handling the entire unit. So that's all from my side. If you guys have any question, you may ask. Any other questions that you guys would like to ask, you would like to discuss? Yeah, please write down your name and enrollment number in the chat box for the attendance purpose. So we'll keep up to this only. That's it for the day. Thank you so much, class. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Excuse me, sir. Hello?
Yes, Brian.
Sir, I sent your question in the chat box.
Yeah, I have gone through with your question that does it need to outsource from the business consultants to incorporate entrepreneurs? Yes. Many multinational, or you can say the global conglomerates, are doing the same. But in most of the cases, what exactly happen is they would love to promote their in-house employees itself. For example, if you are a production manager, then they found that yes, you do have a very good skill to manage the entire production, then you will become the CEO of that production unit, Chief Executive Officer as far as the production is concerned. For example, the one who is having great knowledge of finance, later on he will be promoted to the CFO, Chief Financial Officer. The one who is having very nice knowledge of technology, he will be later on, after pertaining service of 20 years or so on, he will be promoted as CTO, Chief Technical Officer. So majority of the requirement has been fulfilled by the in-house itself. They would love to promote their existing employees, but even in certain cases, if it is not possible, they would love to hire the consultant And by the way, they hire the entrepreneurs. But at the same time, they will study the entire history of that person. Is it clear now, Brian?
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. You guys, you may leave now. Yeah. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.